Alright, so now again we're back to our blueberry filling. So let's take a look at the first step. It says method, allow the fruit to thaw in a bowl and reserve the juice. Combine the cornstarch with just enough of the juice to make a slurry. Okay, so we have our cornstarch here, which probably is about a tablespoon. And so we want to have at least about 3 tablespoons of lemon juice so that it will create that slurry that we're looking for. So we have our 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. We're gonna pop there. 1, 2, 3. And then we had about a tablespoon of cornstarch that we're mixing in. And so usually when you're doing your slurry, it's going to be like a 3-to-1 ratio. So if you use 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, you want about 3 tablespoons of water. And so that way you can get a really nice slurry working. Because otherwise, if it's too tight, then it's going to be a little bit harder for you to mix. Okay? And so now as you can see, we have that going. It's nice and smooth. No lumps in it. Okay, and so if you take a look at your formula, it says next, combine the nutmegs, the cinnamon, the lemon zest, the lemon juice, the salt, the sugar, and bring to a boil. So I have a pan here that I'm going to turn on. So I'm starting to let that go. So I'm going to mix all of those things in here. So I have my blueberries, okay, that we've been working on. Okay, so I have nutmeg, a bit of cinnamon, we have the sugar, and the salt. And then it's calling for the lemon zest. So I'm going to do half a teaspoon. And if you like the lemon flavor like I do, then I'm just going to put all of what I've used in there. So I like the nice and tart, the lemon flavor, but it only calls for a little bit. So you don't have to use the remaining if you don't want to, but I like that punch of the lemon zest. So I have that working. And so now I'm going to give this a quick little mix in my bowl. So I have all my ingredients here. Okay, let's give it a quick little mix. And then it says, gonna let it go for about 2 minutes on the heat. And so now I'm checking to make sure my pot is getting nice and warm. Okay, so you can kind of take a look, and again I'm taking my hand, putting it over there so I can feel the heat. So now I'm gonna go ahead and drop this in, and you hear that nice little sear going. So we're letting that start to cook a little bit, and as you're working with it, you see it's starting to get a little bit of liquidy. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add my slurry. And we have to let that thicken up a little bit so that the cornstarch cooks. You can see the little bit of steam that's coming off of there. It's starting to look nice. Take a look in there, see what's going on. You can start to smell that lemon juice. You smell the blueberries. And so then again, we want to make sure we take our spatula and we want to get all of our ingredients out of there because we don't want to leave any ingredients behind. So just imagine that if you had your own shop and each time you made something, you left, 4, 5, 6 ounces behind. Well, that's, maybe 2 or 3 servings that you're not going to make money off of. So remember, you always want to be as efficient as possible with what you have going on so that you can get the maximum amount out of the product that you're making. Because again, when you have your own business, it's going to go quickly and eat into your profits. And so you don't want that to be one of the things that happens with you. And so as you look at what's going on, it's starting to thickening up, and it's starting to look like a pie filling. And you can smell all those flavors that are going right now. Blueberries, lemon, a little bit of cinnamon. And so now, the thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add my butter because it's nice and thick. So again, you guys see that? See how thick that is? So that's what you're looking for it to thicken up for you. So we're going to pull it off of the flame, and then we're going to start to add in our butter just a little bit. Give it a nice little stir. Add a little bit more of the butter. And so that's what's going to help to get that nice richness of flavor. So butter's just slowly melting in there. It still has residual heat, so it's still cooking a little bit. So even though the butter is melting and it's getting a little loose, but you give it a little bit of time, it's still going to thicken up for you. And so you just keep on working it till it melts. Oh yeah, that's a good looking pie filling. Okay, and so now to let you guys take a look, see I got just a little bit of butter left. I'm gonna put this on top of the warm spot here, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn off my burner. And so just with the residual heat that's there, it's gonna still thicken it up just a little bit more. And so for me, when you're doing the pie filling and you think you're almost there where you need to be, then you can always go just a little bit more, because remember, as things start to cook, they're going to start to break down a little bit. And that cornstarch is going to break down a little bit more for you. All right. So now we have that part finished. Okay. So now we're going to take our pie filling. We're going to put it over to the side. We're going to let it cool down, and then we're going to go with the cream cheese.